Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking this cleric on a permadeath journey using blunt weapon mastery, and we're deciding to go with judgment and smite. So melee only. This man has been cut off from all powers that are holy because he is a drunk and he owes the tavern master Jonah a ton of money. So the whole idea is he's going to go in the dungeon risking his life to pay back what he owes. He's been cut off from all spells, all types of magical healing. The church has barred him from the pews. He is ready to enter the dungeon with just smite and judgment. A long time ago when I first checked out cleric in Goblin Caves, I ran smite over judgment. And I got a lot of flack for that, but not because smite is bad, but because judgment is just so damn good. So, we're going to be using both of them. However, if you have smite with divine strike, you can hit for a lot, and it's like sneaky damage that no one's really expecting. Everyone's expecting the judgment, but they're not expecting that 15 damage from smite every swing. So, hopefully we can be sneaky enough with our damage, we can survive Goblin Caves. It's going to be a much harder challenge considering we have no heals, no protection, no divine strike, and that is pretty much what the cleric relies on. You can run cleric in a team with base kit and still have a lot of value. Not to mention Sanctuary or Holy Light to take out mobs. This setup is probably one of the most challenging ways to play the class, I would say. However, if you have some gear, maybe an upgraded mace, maybe a better shield, and a little bit of magic damage goes a long ways when you're using smite and judgment. This guy, unfortunately, has been forced down this path of recovery. And just a quick note for all of you, path to recovery for an alcoholic is not an easy one. I have many people in my life that struggle with this, and I wish you all the best of luck if any of you or any of your family are going through that battle right now. I do not mean to make fun of that situation, as it is very serious. Another thing that's very serious is if we can find some decent loot from any of these little nooks and crannies along the start of this dungeon run. I do not mind this spawn, as you can skirt around the edges. You don't have to mess around with the mobs in the middle, drawing a bunch of attention to yourself. You get some decent loot, there are some chests, and it kind of propels you into some of my favorite areas in this map, which is the large open room. You know what I mean, ups and downs, ladders, the elevator lift. That place is a blast. I'm gonna check out this coffin. We get a leather cap, which is plus 2 agility leather cap. It's kind of an interesting setup for our former choir boy. He is on the path to be reformed. Maybe someday he'll regain acceptance into the church and be able to use spells. Opening this door, you have to be kind of careful. There is a spawn just on the other side of the hallway where the spiders and pots are. I'm kind of expecting to run into someone here shortly as I'm making some decent ground through this dungeon. That chest is kind of nice. We do aggro mob. We got to deal with this with our little short arms, short swing of mace. Luckily, I did improve my mace swings a little bit after using it on the fighter class using dual wield. However, you do feel sluggish when you don't have that 15% attack speed that the fighter class gets from dual wield. We're going to sneak in, grab this chest, and that's as far as we're going to go here. I don't really see the point of fighting the death beetle and the skeleton that spawns over there. Nothing really great in that chest, which is unfortunate. The plan now is to head over where there's lots of pots. These pots apparently give you XP now. Kind of a neat change, as it now becomes somewhat even more valuable to break them all and steal those bangles. We hear a player on the other side of this door. He is making some noise. We're gonna just ignore that for now and see if we can get a little bit of distance. And then we hear one more guy using some arrows. And those pots are kind of like a little loot mine. Unfortunately, that guy was judged to be unworthy, and he's dead. And just like that, he must have taken a few arrows from Goblin Archer, because he died with one judgment. And I think the base damage has been reduced to like 20 or 25. However, with your will, you do a little bit more than that. So he was probably under half HP, which really, he was basically put out of his misery because he was not going to survive the challenges ahead of him. He must have cleared some of these mobs, ran into a bit of a mess with this red skelly, and then got himself backed into this area with spiders and an archer shooting at him. I'm picturing all the spiders kind of pinning him in place as the archer just lets those arrows fly. Be a horrible place to be in, especially considering you just get judgmented without even knowing I was there. These pots sometimes give really great stuff, which is bandages, potions, the odd green item here and there, which is exactly what we're getting here. Very nice. The only problem is everyone in the general vicinity knows you're here. And this guy definitely knows. He's not really interested in a level 1 cleric. Or at least maybe he's just trying to make it out of here alive as well. In the past, we may have been more aggressive towards this fella, but we are trying to change our ways and become a better individual. I also don't feel very well equipped to deal with a warlock or a wizard, whichever this guy is. I thought he was a warlock when I first spotted him, but those are definitely magic missiles. A couple zaps, and then a staff blow, and I'd be pretty cooked. Needing to make up a lot of ground to get that judgment off, and then follow up with some mace damage. It's possible. You can't get close to them, but wizards can be very quick. We find another ranger and try to judgment this guy as well, testing whether or not he is worthy. And luckily for him, he escapes the judgment, which I didn't realize puts it on cooldown. We're trying it again, and just not going, obviously, because it's still not off cooldown. That guy looks like he's aggroing literally everything in the room, so I wish him the best of luck, and we may sneak in here and try to steal some loot from this goblin mage. As dealing with these mobs one by one is not that much of a problem, if you can dodge things effectively. Get a little excited with our mace, step in a little too close, and take some damage from that Zweihander wielding skeleton. I think you can duck and look straight down or something. There's a method, there's a video. I guarantee there's a way to dodge every single one of these without ever even stepping aside. But we're just swinging. We're swinging our mace, clearing some mobs. We get an upgraded rock, which is lovely. May actually be better just to not use that at all and just go bare-chested so we have a little bit of mobility, especially considering we're using pretty in-your-face style of build. Dealing with a few more skeletons, we're hoping to make our way to that chest, which could give us some very nice gear. We have a nice little inventory going already, and we can stash some more stuff in here, and hopefully we'll find a few things of decent quality. Maybe a blue would be very nice. This has been a pretty okay run so far, considering it's our first one where we just want to survive. Nothing really exciting. Don't think that valuable is even worth that much. We get our warlock friend back, which is a pleasant surprise. And we hear a ranger up above us. That ranger must have made his way up the stairs or out and around. We're just going to open some doors, see if we can find a decent place to set up, and then wait for a portal. Because quite frankly, I am okay with what I have. I only need 50 to 100 gold, and I can get an upgraded weapon quite easily, depending on what's available in the shop. We hear that guy above us, and he's aiming down. I can see just a piece of him up there, waiting for me to step into his line of fire. I really expected that thing to die after 3 hits, but it takes 4 hits. It just shows you how weak the starting mace is, even with blunt weapon mastery. 26 damage mace that has a very, very small sweet spot, and you can hit people with that shaft a lot easier than you think. It is a tricky weapon to get used to if you're just starting out on the cleric class. We're going to take some damage here, but we were hoping to find a portal, or the fact that stairs could be open. We find a portal. Sounds like there's a guy close by, and Goblin Mage got aggroed as I ran through that hallway, so we're in a bit of a bind here. See a couple dead bodies, we're gonna go for the portal. Let's see if there's anything else of value we can snag here. Looks like it was picked clean. Yeah, unfortunate. But that's good, that's successful, I'm okay with that. We are alive, we are healthy, we are earning some gold to upgrade our weapons, and then eventually, maybe we'll have enough gold to pay our debt, as we really need some items to make ourselves more successful. Selling absolutely everything we don't need, which is quite a bit of just useless gear. We do have a few things for the collector. I'm not quite sure how this is all going to work out and how much we get. We get almost 100 so far, and with the silver coins and these knives, we should be at 100. Perfect. That might be a nice roll on a weapon in the merchant. Oh man, that would be so nice. A blue Warmaul, and a green Warmaul, and then a Morningstar. And this is a very gutsy decision considering I've never used Warmaul. But considering that they've just got a recent 30% armor pen buff, and I see a lot of people using them and saying they're kind of hilarious, I'm gonna try it. I feel like this is the time. This guy makes rash decisions. It's part of his lifestyle. So we're gonna go with the Warmaul and hopefully a Smite Warmaul that just smashes through people in one hit. Not sure I had quite the damage on it with it only being a green, so I'm doubtful. But it left us enough money for some meds, and it's always fun to try these things. I just hope it doesn't cost us in the end, considering that Morningstar would be a pretty nice upgrade to our mace with improved reach and damage, meaning I wouldn't have to get quite as close to make Smite work. But we're going to test out the reach on this Warmaul, and I have a few coins left to buy some Agi gloves, which are just kind of nice to have. You might as well throw them on, as I have basically spent all my money, and that is the plan. We're going to spend some money before we can make some money and make it out of here alive. So jumping right into this one, we get to try out this Warmaul. And this bad boy is very interesting to me. The reach, we're going to test that out right now. I've never really wielded it, and I've heard good things about its reach, but I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of disappointed. I want to be hitting these guys from further range, and it wasn't quite landing. Kind of strange. We take a lot of damage there, messing around with this thing. Luckily we have some meds, which will fix that. And just maybe it's a feeling out process with this weapon as we get used to just how far away we can get. See, I was expecting that would hit there. Then we step ahead just a little bit more, and we hit like middle of the pot. So this is one of those weapons like the spear or halberd or any of the two-handed weapons. You have to get pretty comfortable with its reach, and your spacing is going to be so hugely important. One thing I will say, it's got a meaty swing on it and sounds amazing. It really destroys those pots. And because healing takes so long while rested, we'll just skip through that part as I hide in the corner, getting my HP back. So I think it was one potion, and we're back cooking again at full HP. I really expect that to hit there. It's just, I think the swing angle on it means it's furthest, like the greatest reach of the weapons at the very, like, middle part of your swing, if you know what I mean. As you're starting your swing, it actually comes through a lot closer to your body on the first little part of this. At least, that's my initial thoughts. I am not Warmaul Master. We'll keep going with it. Like I said, it is a fun weapon, and if I can smash a guy in the face with this thing, I'd be pretty happy with myself. One swing to break these barrels is pretty fitting for the weapon. It would be kind of cool to see a weapon like the Warmaul be basically given the capability to break down doors, even though you're not a barbarian. I feel like this thing is a door breaker. Look at the beefy swings on this thing. And if you can smash that into a door, even as a cleric, why shouldn't you be able to break a door down? And that right there is the first time you're seeing that kind of odd, like, hit with the handle. That is its secondary swing that I did not know existed. So, there's another little wrinkle into this weapon that is altogether new to me. Very interesting one. I think I've had some of you guys mention in the past that the secondary swing is really nice. And I didn't do the second part of the swing yet. So at this point I'm kind of like, when the hell would you ever use that? It looks very, very short and close, and I don't imagine it does full damage, but like I said, I'm not quite yet a Warmaul Master. We hear some commotion down below, and there's definitely a warlock close by. We're just going to kind of wait up here and see if he pushes up. I highly doubt he will, as he'll aggro the bull up and archer, but if he does, it could leave us with a nice opportunity. Hearing nothing, we move on. Smash more pots with this beast of a weapon. Right there, like I'm expecting that. I really expect some of those swings just to smash right into the middle of the pot, and then it's just narrowly missing. So, it could be a tough weapon to fight with, especially if you're not comfortable with it. And this should be fun. Smashing spiders with this thing is probably really tricky, but that is when this secondary swing comes in really handy. Even though I've completely missed that pot, now we're just swinging in the dark. We need to deal with this pot before it starts to drive me crazy, as spiders can be just relentless. And there's that follow-up to the secondary swing. It has a 2-attack pattern, or second attack on that pattern, which looks like an absolute head smasher. This has been a pretty quiet run so far, but we hear a portal. Pretty early portal below us, and this means we can maybe grab some more loot. We're gonna use this potion just in case someone's down there, and I did hear some pots breaking close by, so someone else may have heard that portal as well. Try to snag a bit more loot, and of course, there is a guy below us. Very tempted to jump down there, and we're gonna go for it. He just rushes at us, but the Warmaul absolutely crushes that guy. And no matter how many times I watch that back, it is hilarious to me. Just the thought of a cleric wielding this brute of a weapon, and a rogue comes charging out of the darkness. It's absolutely clobbered by one beefy swing of that giant maul. And it's pretty fitting. I mean, it should only take one swing to kill somebody with this thing, with how heavy it feels and how much damage it would do. So we get a nice little kill, which I didn't realize, but does absolutely nothing for your experience gain. It does give us a few more little trinkets, but nothing too amazing. And this run has been a pretty peaceful one, but seeing as we're just getting going here, we're going to take off after clearing up a few more pots. So we survived with Warmaul. That is an achievement in itself, considering we have no meds and no spells, and I'm glad we left. Look at this party we're seeing in Goblin Caves now that VoIP is a thing. This poor guy who's the outcast, and they're all fighting over the same portals, so I don't understand what the theory is behind this method. Like, you're gonna have to either fight the guy for the portal or steal it from him anyway. It's kind of odd, and I don't know how that guy didn't die to Spike Trap. And they make another friend. So there's now 4 of them, with probably a couple circles left. I'll be honest with you guys, you probably won't find me in this situation too many times where I'm sharing final portals with people. I'm greedy, I want under there, and I don't want to mess around being the last guy standing, running up and down, looking for portals. So, either fight and get on with it, or just go the other direction. Anyway, back to what we've done here. We were successful once again. This time it feels like we didn't make nearly as much, considering most of this stuff is kind of junk. A lot of gear sells for absolutely nothing. And yeah, we get like, what, 20-some gold for that? Ouch. Did get some diamonds in there, which are pretty nice. If you're ever looting, take diamonds and emeralds and the small jewels over bangles and stuff. But we still have this Warmaul, and we still have some money. There's not a lot we can do for upgrades, because I'm guessing the merchant didn't change. We might be able to gamba something through Goblin Merchant. Maybe? Yeah, so it's... I mean, we could go for the Morningstar, but it feels like kind of a waste considering we're just going to be using the Warmaul. So, this is kind of a bad situation if you're looking for decent weapon upgrades. Could check Goblin. We get a Frog and Heavy Gauntlets. We kind of already have Gauntlets. And those pants are kind of enticing because they do have Will, which will increase our buffs and our power through our magical damage and Smite. I believe it would help Smite and Judgment. So I feel like the pants are the way to go. We have just enough. Yeah, we have 80. So let's pray we get a good roll on these. And literally gray pants, not even white. Not even white ones. That was probably is the worst I think you can roll. Unfortunate. We're going to sell a potion so we can buy a health potion, and we're still a little bit off because they scammed us with those new potions. And now we're stuck with a little bit of gold and not much we can do with it. But we go again, and that's just the nature of the shop. You sometimes don't have many options. Without any further delay, we're going to jump into another game. We hope we can be a little more successful with our loot. Finding some more valuable items would be very nice, considering we're not making a whole lot. And of course, running melee cleric, I'm going to switch to the mace. Try not to aggro the mobs below me. This thing takes chunks out of my forehead. Popping smite to deal with them a little bit quicker. Still going to be a battle I'm not interested in, as up and down this terrain is very annoying. If you step even slightly down that incline, those mobs, the Goblin Mage, or the Bola, can aggro onto you. So I was doing my best to try to rotate around in circles, but the up and down really benefited that Mimic with smashing me in the face. But that is why we spend 6 gold on those meds, because even those small little moments can be quite challenging, just randomly out of nowhere, which makes this game exactly what it is. A ton of fun, unpredictable, just overall great time. So, clearing up some pots, we find some nice stuff. I don't think taking on the Centipede as a cleric is a really great idea without any heals, or without a lot of heals. I feel like now they hit you a lot more with that toxic spray stuff than they used to in the past, and rotating around them with this gear would be a lot more difficult. Could be done, but I'd prefer to be fighting the one that has the health shrine right after it. We get a Molotov, which is a very nice find. And we're gonna keep kind of. It was a very odd hitbox. It hit like super close to me on the left. I'm gonna try this. You have to be super close for that to hit. That second swing is so crazy. Very interesting though. I'm super intrigued by it. I want to know if you guys have ever used the secondary like follow-up, because I feel like it'd be hugely satisfying to smash someone in the face with that thing. Either way, smashing anyone in the face with any attack on the Warmaul seems hugely satisfying. We've already experienced that, and I can say it is a lot of fun. We get a ranger up there. Never trust a ranger. They're almost worse than rogues. Not a big fan. They'll bait you around, put traps down, you know, sneak a couple arrows into your back as they're safe on a different platform. They can be a real problem in the Goblin Caves, as they have so many good areas, but they also have to be very, very cautious which hallway they walk down, because they can get themselves trapped behind a door or a couple boxes quite quickly. Trying out this swing, I still can't believe how close it is. Like, I have no idea where that hitbox is going on the first swing. It's one I have to learn a little more, maybe. Costing us another potion, our experimenting is becoming a bit of a problem. We're going to need to rest and heal some of this HP back. And luckily during our rest, Skeleton Champion did not venture over to this side, which means we are now full HP. We have a Warmaul. We can still make something happen with this raid, and maybe get a nice kill again using Smite. Opening this chest, we kind of get pushed by this goblin, so I need to deal with him. I just want that to connect a little bit further out. Just a little bit more reach would be so nice. Maybe a little too nice, I'm not sure. Maybe it would be absolutely broken then, just cleaving through everybody in the dungeon. But I don't see that. We hear some metal footsteps, which means a fighter or a cleric close by. Could be a very interesting fight. A little crunch on the ground may give us away, because this guy's already prepared with his bow ready. He's already slinging some arrows off. We're hoping to get a judgment on this guy. We accidentally cancel our own judgment, which costs us. We smash Smite, land a hit, but we don't catch him with the second hit. And the second hit almost caught his arm. I mean, his swing, he just pulled his arm back as my Warmaul come past. And I know for a fact, considering the goblin literally just took him out, that if we had caught that arm, even a little piece of him, he was dead with Smite. So we made it kind of a huge error with our judgment, as we accidentally canceled it as we were just spamming it as he's running towards us. and the sprint just allowed him to be on top of us way faster than I was expecting. That's a very sad one. I was enjoying this cleric quite a bit, and I hope someday I'm able to stretch these out for a couple more games, getting to Howling Crypts again. But right now I'm kind of just exploring classes, exploring weapons, and enjoying the infancy of this wipe and using stuff that someone wouldn't normally use. I imagine if I was going full tryhard, using all the right buffs, pre-buffing, blessing, divine striking, judgment, I could have won that fight probably fairly easily. But it's more fun. I enjoy this kind of approach of just using what you have, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Cheers.